Hi, I'm Adrian, and I'm new to window farms. I haven't yet built a window farm, but I'm hoping to do so soon. I'm looking into aquaponics using my fish tanks for the water reservoir. Now, I was experimenting with the airlift system. As you can see, I've so far got air pushing water out. I was looking at the basic system for the 3 jugs and the airlift system, and I had my needles and I was looking at getting some tubing and stuff, and while experimenting by myself here with what I have a bunch of this airline tubing for my aquarium, not as much of the thicker tubing, and I was starting to think, perhaps it was over complex. Rather than sticking needles into the larger tubing, perhaps all we needed was a T-junction and you could just pump air directly into the tube, based on the fairly simple idea that air, when put in water, would like to go up. So as you can see, I've got a pump here, and the tube is going along. That's just a valve so I can control the airflow. Now, I really should have a one-way valve here so water doesn't get into my pump, but this is just for the purposes of experimentation. I was looking at it here. So the air goes down, and at the bottom here there's a T-junction, and on one side of the T-junction going down is a very short piece of tube, and on the top side of the T-junction is the longer airlift tube. These are all just standard small airline tubing, and I could probably do with a longer piece of tube on the bottom. I was a bit worried that air would rather just push out the bottom than all the way up to the top. But aside from one strange moment where I was adjusting the valve, and for a minute air started coming out the bottom instead of the top, but a bit more fiddling with the valve and it was fine. So it seems water is coming up the bottom, and since these bubbles want to go up the airlift tubing, it draws in water from the bottom, and it's not a problem. And as you can see, there's a lot of bubbles coming straight into this T-junction, straight up the tube. They tend to amalgamate and get bigger as they get to the top, but there's a fair amount of water coming out the top. Now, it seems if I use more air, it just moves faster, and I get more water out. I've got some experimentation to do, I suppose, with the amount of air that's getting into this. And also, I don't know if you can tell much by way of scale. This is about 2 feet from bottom to top. So if we're talking several feet above the tank, I don't know if it would still work just as well. We'll have to try that when I've got some more tubing. But so far, it looks like this can simply be done with the regular airline T-junction and the small tubing, and that will send a fair amount of water out the top. I mean, if this is left running constantly, there's a fair bit of water dripping down, so I don't think quantity would really be a problem. Anyway, perhaps this is of help with some people trying to start a simple setup. I'll post another video or just a text update once I find out if this will work, several feet above the aquarium with the 3-bottle setup or similar. Right, thanks.